we'll get started. Tonight, we will be talking about empowering English learners and their families for mastering distance learning. We will give you some tips for planning, organization, and self-advocacy. We thank Prince George's County Public Schools for investing in our families and allowing us to do this workshop. And it is guided by the ESOL department. I am your presenter, Monica Wilson. I am actually a product of the ESOL department. I graduated from Northwestern High School back in the day in '89, and I went through the ESOL program and then from there to college. So I love the ESOL program because it does a lot for our students. All right. The mission of the ESOL program is to prepare all the English learners to effectively use English language skills and academic strategies to participate confidently and successfully as productive citizens in the school community and beyond. All of our students, regardless of language, have the opportunity to achieve in our schools. And the ESOL mission is for us to equip you with those skills that are necessary to conquer the language, and so the language is not a barrier, but we can navigate through the system and graduate our students successfully. And I have a question for you tonight. In the poll feature, I will ask you to please answer, how is distance learning working for your family? Give me an A if distance learning is going well with your family. Or push the B button if distance learning has proved to be very challenging in your family. And we will have an idea of how we are doing with our participants. So take the moment right now, answer the questions, and we will have the results shortly. In the meantime, I would like to hear from one of the participants. If you would like to share the thought, raise your hand, and you would have the opportunity to tell us what is working well for your family, briefly. Do we have any volunteers?
We do have Rosa. I'm going to unmute her.
Awesome. Hello, Rosa.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for sharing.
Sure. I'm a parent engagement assistant in the elementary school at Judge Vania Woods Elementary. And honestly, I think what is working on a positive note is for me with my families is doing that one-to-one and just walking what I call the baby steps and kind of just showing them the process of logging in, using the username, and actually going through the schedule step by step and explaining, because like I tell my parents, it's different. We're used to where you just put the child on the bus, they come to school, and the teacher gets them to the next class or get them to the ESOL class. Now I work with the student and the parent, and I show them a screen of the schedule, but then I have the student write it out so they manually and visually see it as well. And they take ownership by saying, okay, on Monday, I go to class this, that, and then I know it's at this time. And so, like I tell my parents, we're preparing them so much to be independent and get ready for college because they will be independent. I believe we will have success in distance learning, but I do honestly have to be truthful that, yes, it is a challenge as well for a lot of our families. I know it is.
Yes.
But I have hope.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing. And absolutely, yes, we are, kind of navigating uncharted waters here. It is a different thing, but we can definitely find a lot of positives in the process. We have the answers here from the poll, and I think we are kind of almost even with the challenge with A and B. So we're kind of half and half. So we're going to go to the next question. And can I have someone raise your hand and share with us what is challenging? If you're really finding it challenging to do distance learning, what do you find the most challenging? Any volunteers?
Oh, someone raised their hand and then put it back down.
Anyone?
Oh, we have someone, yes.
Yay. Okay.
I can only see part of the name, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Okay, great. Hello, what's your name?
Hello, that's Sanya.
Nice to have you.
Yeah. Sorry?
Nice to have you.
Me too, thank you. So it's challenging because, we had to fight each day to find a way to make the assignments, to understand what we have in the videos, what he missed, what he didn't understood all along the day. And even while studying in the day, it's a challenge to get all the information we need, and that he's the kid is stressed and the parent to overcome all the difficulties, the technical difficulties, and it stops sometimes. It's connected, it's not connected. We'll be able to catch what's after all that stuff. That's why it's challenging.
Yes, and you're not alone. And that's why we're here tonight. We'll talk a little bit about some of those things. And, we're all learning. Even the teachers are learning. We're all learning.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. Yes, it is. We acknowledge it is a challenge. So let's go over this thing. Well, first, let me remind you, if you have a question for the end, please type it in the Q&A feature and just push the button and then type your question. And at the end, I will get those questions. If not, we will do the raise hand thing again, and you can just raise your hand and then we'll take the hands as they come in. Okay? All right. So let's go back a little bit. What is distance learning? So a very long time ago, it all got started with, if you can see there, an envelope. What is an envelope doing there? Well, the correspondence courses were a thing a long time ago. And that was kind of what started the idea of someone could be learning, even though they weren't physically in a classroom with an instructor, but someone could send instruction over correspondence, and then those students could get the skills that way. And that happened for a long time. And then we had the invention of the phonograph. And that was something amazing where voices could be recorded. And of course, we are always, as humans, we're always looking for opportunities to use what we invent. So that allowed recordings. And then, of course, we started recording lessons and things like that so that it could be shared with more people. But that was just a stationary apparatus. Later on came the radio. And that's when we started getting into distributing information farther and to more people at the same time. And so some schools even decided that they could teach courses via the radio. After the radio, this amazing thing called the television came around. And now we had an image to the voices. And again, we use that to make different things, information to share with people. There were documentaries to educate people. A lot of it was used for propaganda back in the day, but then schools decided to also start recording courses that they could share with people. And after that came the computer. We see IBM was one of the pioneers to start with the distance learning idea, and that's how we came about. And we are here today with the internet, which makes it, come to the tip of our fingers, and it's so much easier. How many of you watched the Jetsons? That was one of my favorite cartoons as a child. I always thought that it was crazy, all the ideas. I'm waiting for the flying cars, for the cars that I can fold and put away neatly. But a lot of their ideas came to me, and as you can see, there's dog there, it's on the TV, and they're enjoying that. Well, that's kind of where we are now. We're in amazing days being able to communicate via distance, even through the distance, and now we can even learn. Now, what are some of the terms that you have heard regarding distance learning? We've heard distance learning, distance education, online learning, e-learning, virtual learning. There's so many terms that are being used. And it all refers to the exchange of information from an instructor to learners, but that are not physically in the same room, but they're connected via technology. What are some of the things that define distance learning? Well, first of all, it's led by an institution in an academic environment where students are expected to follow instructions and complete tasks in a timely fashion. So we have to make sure that we get the idea that we are still functioning as a classroom. And even though it's difficult and it is challenging to not have the students physically be in the same classroom as the teacher, we are still expected to follow instructions and complete all the tasks as though we were in the classroom. And they have to be on time. It just takes a little bit of organization, but it can be done, and this is what is expected. So it's not free time for the students to play on the computer. It's a time to be in the classroom, even though they're distant. It is physically separated. There's a physical separation between the instructor and the student. It's still operating as a classroom. It's only connected with technology. And it is not the computer that is the teacher. The teacher is still the teacher, but now we have the parents collaborating with the teacher, which it's really what it should be all along. The parents now have a lot more say in the education of the students and first row really, so they can witness how their students are learning. The same classroom rules apply too, so that's something that we also need to remind our students at home. The teachers are not there physically to manage the behavior. Now we have the parents to manage the behavior from home. They need to and make sure that they follow the classroom rules and the etiquette. Some of the things that I've been talking to some of my teacher friends, I have a friend who teaches second grade, and there's been a couple of times where moms have walked right behind their students and their towels coming from the shower. So we're going to talk about the placement of the learning environment to make sure that we don't have some of those mishaps while our students are learning. We want to be completely away with and do away with any distractions that can happen. So, etiquette applies. Have the students get up. I know it's comfy to be in jammies, but sometimes if, they get dressed to go to school, they might have a different mindset. So that might help them. So follow the etiquette rules as if they were in the classroom. Remember that we operate as a learning community. It's not just the students, it's not just the teachers, it's not all on the parents, it's not all in the community, it's not all in the school. It's a community. We all have to do our part. So this learning community operates with the support of all the stakeholders. So from the school, we have the administration, the teachers, the counselors, everyone related to the school. Then the students, the reason that we're here, the parents have a big say, and they're a very vital part of the whole system. And the community, the lawmakers, the supporters, the sponsors, all of us have to do our part for this thing to function. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about having the distance learning mindset. And this is where I would like to spend some time tonight, because this new thing has completely come and taken over our lives. I know that parents had to take turns, for example, going to work because now they are home with their students. And that is a change that happens with the family. And how do we adjust for all this? So our mindset kind of has to change to make priorities. And first, we're going to have to do away with some of the old thinking that we had regarding technology. Because technology is a tool. It's a tool that is meant to help us. But if we don't know how to use the tool properly, it might not help us. So let's get into that mindset so that we can use it effectively. We need to realize that technology is here and it's here to stay. A long time ago, people had to learn how to read at the very basic level. Nowadays, we have to do a lot more work in reading and all of that, but everyone pretty much has a certain level of reading. You can't even use a phone if you can't read. Technology now has become the reading of the former days, of today for us. Because if you don't know anything about technology, the world is advancing. Phones, even I can't even get coffee because my Keurig has a little sensor and it's like a little mini computer in there. So we have to learn how to push buttons and how to use technology. It is here to stay. We need a basic knowledge of it. The good news is that there are a lot of resources available, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But we just need to get into the mindset that it's here to stay. We can no longer avoid it. We need to make peace with it and just be able to take advantage of all its benefits, because there are many benefits to it. We need to do away with our fear of information and then get information so that we know what we're doing, and then we realize, oh, it's not that bad. I know that in my family, I have some older people that were afraid of pushing buttons, but now they see that they can use, WhatsApp and things like that to communicate with friends in their country, and it's amazing how we can be connected. They never imagined using Zoom to talk to a grandma in, El Salvador. And so if we realize that there is a lot that technology can do for us, we might be able to conquer those fears. We have resources in school. YouTube, learn how to use YouTube. YouTube has a lesson practically for anything. We have been able to fix things at home just by watching YouTube videos. So if you can start drawing from those fountains of information, you will realize that it's really neat what technology can do for us. Apply all that information to your personal life. And if you do that, then you will be more inclined to be less afraid of using it. I would like to see, all the parents in the county using their emails, because a lot of teachers report that they have difficulty contacting parents. So parents, just check your emails every day, just the way you do your phone. Do the email, because it leaves a record of your communications, and it's a sure way of contacting people. You can write an email at any time, and it won't disturb people. So we will get into the planning and organizing of distance learning. So one of the things that I hear from a lot of parents is, especially when they have multiple children, what do I do? How do I do it? How do I keep up with all of this? And one of the things that I advise my parents is that the first thing is that you have to take a look at the big picture. Take the whole family into consideration. Look at your whole family so that you can organize yourself and then plan how is it that you're going to conquer this thing. So take inventory of your family resources, time being the greatest resource we have. Then look for the physical things like the learning space for each child. I know that some families are trying to do what they can with one computer, but children do need their own. Each child needs to have a space to do their school that is distraction-free. And you can't really have multiple children sharing one device, because they have to be in school the whole entire day. So we got to do anything possible to be able to find those resources. And so, again, each child should have their own device and a learning space that is distraction-free. Devices available like a laptop or iPad, the phone, whatever it is that they're using, and then equipment to go with it. If you have multiple children and some are playing and some are trying to do school, get them headphones with a microphone so that cancels a little bit of the noise and they can focus a little bit more in their classes, for example. And also connectivity. Do you have Wi-Fi? If you don't have Wi-Fi, then schools are providing hotspots. Make sure that you have a way for your students to be connected because they need that to do their lessons. Also have all the applications loaded. Have all the devices charged, ready for class. Make sure that if it's a computer, make sure it's plugged in so that it doesn't die in the middle of the lesson. Also, make sure that you know how you can get user training. If you don't know how to use it that efficiently, there is available help via the school. There's office hours, and there are resources. So find out about those. We have the PGCPS main page, and in there you have links to resources that the county offers for each family. And we do have to be a little bit patient because a lot of people need help, but you will get your help as soon as possible if you need it. So we just have to look for that. And again, available support. These are some of the numbers if you want to write them down or take a picture of this slide so you can have these numbers. There's the resources page link. Then there's the distance learning hotline. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The Family Institute has some good information for you. If you need an interpreter, that's the number, and that is the email that you can write. And I am privileged to be a part of the International Parent Leadership Consortium. It is a consortium that looks for parents to participate so that you can learn how to become leaders, educational leaders in our county as parents. So if you want to know how the system operates in the school, what the protocol should be to address issues with your school or with the county, that is the place where you can get a lot of that information. We don't have the dates for this year's IPLC yet, but it will be available in the future. I believe that we will be putting that out in the ESOL page, so please be advised of it. Just remember the name IPLC, and when it's done, apply for it, because we do have limited space, but we would like parents to participate so that we can all work together. All right, and then we're going to talk a little bit about family schedule. I would love to be able to see everyone here, and I would ask the question, how many of you keep a family calendar? It's surprising, but not everyone does. Calendars are very, very, very helpful tools. And it would be great if each family that is doing distance learning with us should keep a calendar that has everyone's activities, work schedules, school schedules, homework, major projects, do things like that, and something that is balanced as well. Because the kids should not be on the computer 24/7. I know they would probably love to, but we should have some family time. We should have even recreational time should be scheduled so that we don't miss that. Calendars are very good tools to keep us balanced. We also should define expectations. Whenever you're in class, make sure that you are punctual. Teach your children that, please, because the teachers can't enforce that anymore because they are on the other end of the computer. But parents, you can help your students to be punctual by having all their supplies being online on time. And to be respectful, they need to follow the protocol. There are rules. Each teacher would have covered those rules, what the expectations are. Please make sure that you know those for each teacher and that you are enforcing those at home with your students. And have them be prepared. Make sure that in their study space, they have all the supplies they need. They're going to need paper. They're going to need pencils or pens or maybe even crayons. I'm not sure. Whatever grade they are, there are different needs. Make sure they have all the supplies that are needed for them to have a good experience with their learning. Develop a plan and follow through. There's this thing we call accountability, to give an account of what we are doing and how we're doing it. Talk to them often. Talk to them before class. Check on them sometimes in class. And then, check on them after class when you're eating together and dinner time. Ask them, how did it go and what kind of homework do you have? Ask them what they're learning. Let them teach you so that they can reinforce those those concepts that they are learning. Identify barriers and challenges and address them. If you don't feel comfortable using the computer, find maybe other parents or family members that can help you with that. Or even your students might actually be able to help you with that. But identify what are the barriers and challenges and then address them. Everything has a solution, so let's just look for answers. And if you ask, you most likely will be able to find your answer. So plan to be available. In your students' education, it's an investment. It is a big investment. And the biggest investment that you can make is time, because that's exactly what is the most needed. They need to see you so that they can follow a good example. So plan to be available. Participate when needed. It doesn't mean that you have to be there with them every minute of every class, but just be available, because the kids also do get frustrated. And they need our support, they need our example, they need to watch us. How do we deal with the challenges that we are facing? And then they will learn how to deal with their own challenges by watching our example. Know what their strengths are and play on their strengths. Make sure that you're rewarding them when they're doing a good job, because they do need that too. We all love to hear you're doing a good job. Kids especially love to hear you're doing a good job. And we will go to the next topic, which is a big one, and it's self-advocacy. So you become like your own lawyer, your own advocate, a person who fights for your own rights or for the rights of those that you love. So I want you to think about it. How much time do you invest in taking care of your own self? And then think, how much time should you invest in taking care of your own family? I know that we expect, the county and the teachers to do a good job and all of that, but we also need parents to be involved. There's a lot of research that shows that the best school districts in the country are those that have the most involved parents. Parents are a vital part of our system. The students come from you, and you know your students better than anybody else. And you have the most influence in your students' lives. So we need you to be an advocate in the county. They say that when you're in a plane, if anything happens and those little masks come down and you have to use oxygen, they tell you put it on first, and then you can help other people, like your children or a person sitting next to you. And this is kind of like this is. We need the parents to take care of yourself first. Inform yourself. Learn all about your family. Take care of your family, and then you will be able to take care of others. Go to the next one. There are a couple of things that we can do to self-advocate. First, be ambitious in a good way. We want you to desire more and better, because there is a lot. This country is a country that has so much to offer. I came from Guatemala in '86 with a family of, we were immigrants, and I came into the school system. I did not speak any English. I came to my 10th grade, and in 2 years, I was able to graduate from high school and go straight to college with a scholarship. There is so much that this country has to offer. I've been able to become a teacher, and I am passionate about teaching and giving hope, knowing that there are so many different blessings that we can enjoy, and there's so many paths that the students can take, so many different careers and occupations, and there's so much. So we need to be able to desire to do more and to do better. Every life counts. Everyone can do amazing things. There's an analogy that I always kind of share in my workshops, and I ask them, what does Mother Teresa and Einstein, for example, or Benjamin Franklin have in common with you? And think about it for a minute. And my answer is time. We all have been given 24 hours a day. So think about people that have achieved amazing big things, like even Einstein, for example. Amazing scientists, amazing lawyers, amazing writers that we know of. All those people only had 24 hours a day, just like we do. If we use that time wisely, we can all achieve amazing things. And our students are trying to achieve their dreams. So they also have 24 hours a day. They can do amazing things with those 24 hours. With your help, the teachers are doing their part, and with the parents' part, these kids can do amazing things. We will have the future leaders of tomorrow. So let's desire more and better. Let's be ambitious about progressing. We need to identify resources to be able to get there, and there are lots of resources. Our system offers a lot for the families. All you need to do is get on that website and then find out what kinds of resources are available and then use them. Focus your priorities as well. You can't win all the battles at the same time, but you can pick one thing at a time. If English is a problem, go and get some English courses and overcome that one. Then if you want to have a better job, then, pick something that you want to do and maybe go to school for that yourself. And then focus that priority at that moment. So don't fight all the battles at the same time, but pick one at a time and conquer that one and keep on going. And you can do amazing things. The way that we can do that is by staying informed. If you're driving and you're going too fast, you can't tell the officer, sorry, officer, I didn't know the speed limit. He's not going to say, oh, okay, you're off the hook, you're fine. No, that's not an excuse. We need to be informed. If we're driving, we need to know the rules of the road. If we are here and studying and trying to make a better future, we need to get ourselves informed. We need to seek information. We need to share that information with others. And something that I am very passionate about is that we need to learn to love learning. That's one of the things in my classes with my students. I love to learn, and I try to teach that love of learning to them. If I don't have the answer, because I don't have all the answers to everything, I tell them it's okay not to know it, but it's not okay not to go for it. We need to go find it because everything has an answer. So let's learn to love learning. Let's love to be informed because that's how we can achieve great things. And also, let's be available. Once you get that information, once you have plans for achieving in the future, make time. Make yourself available. Equip yourself. You can't give what you don't have. But if you equip yourself and you learn, when we do the parent workshops with the IPLC, I ask them the first day, how many here feel like you are a leader? And a lot of times, not many parents raise their hands. But you are a leader. As the head of your family, you are automatically a leader. You're leading your family. So good leaders need to be equipped to be able to lead. So equip yourself. If you don't have certain skills that you wish you had, go for it. Find a way to get them. Equip yourself so that you can advocate for your family. The more tools you have, the better you can get your job done. And all you need to do is decide that you are able to help, because everyone can help. Everyone has amazing ideas, and everyone can put their part to help. So now we are going to open the floor, so to speak, to questions in case you have any more specific questions. Do we have any from the Q&A yet?
Monica, we have one in the chat. The parent asks, please how do you help my son stay focused during the lesson? He has no distractions while learning, but sometimes he misses the information.
That's a great question. Yes, so that would be, my first question would be, how old is your child and what grade they are in, or what grade they are in? And It is pretty hard, especially when they have to be sitting there for a very long time. But if you are there with him, I would definitely model listening to the lesson and trying to get the information and helping them to see how it's done. And I would also have a conversation with the teacher to see if the teacher has any tips on the specific lesson that the student is missing to see how they can cover that information. So that would be my short answer during this time.
And the parent raised their hand, so we're going to have Kathy unmute them.
Okay, great.
A couple of hands raised.
It's Samia Dama is the one who asked about the son. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay. Did that help, Samia, or
Yeah.
no further questions?
Yeah, for the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son is in the 4th grade, and he has almost 10 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
And, he is ESOL too.
Mm-hmm.
ESOL, students. So, sometimes when I ask him for what he learned, he couldn't answer me. I tried to stay with him during the lesson, and I remarked that he's sometimes away. He's not here with the teacher speaking and explaining some things. So I try to understand that he should focus. He should understand try to have all the information to take notes. He doesn't want to take notes in, the journal. So I can stay with him all the day, taking notes and trying to understand first, then making him understand what he didn't understand.
Yeah, it is hard, especially at that age, 10 years old and 4th grade. That is a difficult time for the distance learning. So I would try to find what motivates him and maybe give him some incentives that he can go after. Like if you take lessons in here and you tell me what this lesson is, he can maybe have a privilege or, some kind of reward. Sometimes that helps. He is young. And it is hard. It is hard for an adult to sit through a whole day of distance learning. But if you can find something that motivates him, then that might help to get them into the lesson and be able to focus a little bit more because you have a goal to meet.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another question?
For me, no.
I know. Okay, great. And I know earlier, Monica, Abdul had said he was muted and cannot talk. I'm not sure if Abdul may want to ask a question.
Sure.
Kathy, do you want to try and unmute Abdul and just ask?
Sure.
Thank you. Abdul, did you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, greeting to all of you. We recently came. We recently came to the US, and my son is 6.5 years old. He is in kindergarten, and he doesn't know English when his teacher is teaching. He doesn't know. I'm sitting in classes with her. I help him, and it is difficult for me to sit all the time with him because my other children are also attending the class. What can I do with him?
Yes, in kindergarten, I know my sister has a kindergartner, and it is very hard for the little ones, especially because they're so hands-on. So that's an age when the parents have to definitely be more involved with the lessons. I don't know what he is doing in class, but have you tried to talk to the teacher?
No, I did not talk with his teacher yet.
So I would start by talking to the teacher and asking them, because the kindergarten teacher would have some age specific techniques that they might be able to advise you to do with your child. They know that age very well, and they know what motivates them. And so your teacher might be able to give you some tips of what you can do, or perhaps tell you what the lesson is so that you can help your child at home.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And we have some time for a few other questions. Are there any other specific questions? Does everyone have what you need, like the devices for your children and the connectivity? Is everybody connected at home? Do you have any specific questions regarding that?
Hello.
Anyone?
I don't see any other hands.
Okay, is there any other information that you want to share with anyone?
So we just want to thank you, Monica, for sharing with the parents tonight. And I apologize, I would turn on my camera, but just like everyone is having technical glitches, tonight my camera is not working. So I bring greetings from the ESOL office, and we're so glad you joined us. We have many sessions throughout the remainder of August and early into November, and so we encourage you to attend any of those sessions. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the ESOL office, and we will be there to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you have any questions, feel free to stay on, and we will be here. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening.
Yes, so I would like to repeat again, please make sure that you are using the resources. Don't feel like you are alone. Don't feel like you don't have any help, because there is help. Unfortunately, we all need help at this point, so do have some patience, especially for the teachers and the schools. Give us all grace, because we're all trying to figure it out and trying to get to everyone. But there are resources, and the resources will come. At some point, it will. So don't feel like you're alone and like you don't have any resources. So, yes, please use those resources. And we'd love to see you. We'll see you in the future, and we're here to help. So just ask us whenever you need help.
Okay, thank you. Could you share the presentation with us, because I joined the meeting a little bit late?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Yes, she asked if we could share the presentations, and all of our presentations are going to be recorded, and we will definitely share it with you. We will also give you access to all of the other presentations that we're creating as well. We're adding them to a site.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Thank you for being here.
There was a question from Leonor.
Yeah, I saw it, Kathy. So it says, I can translate it to Monica. It says that she makes sure that her child does the homework. I just want to make sure I got it all right.
Yeah, I think I see it here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So who asked the question?
Who asked the question, Kathy?
Leonor. You mean who asked the question?
Mm-hmm.
It was Leonor.
Leonor. Does she want to talk live too, or?
Let me see. Oh, wait, let's see. I unmuted her.
Hey, Leonor. Leonor, ¿está ahí? Okay, I'll address the question. She said that her son is taking classes And she's trying to ask him what he learned, but he doesn't know what they were talking about. So, again, I would definitely speak with the teacher, and I will ask the teacher for tips on, first of all, what it is that they are learning at the time, and then how to reinforce that at home. And then give the students some incentives so that they will want to participate in class, and maybe find a way that he can learn some tips on how to take notes and how to listen for information.
And Monday is Parent-Teacher Conference Day, so that would be a great time to request a conference. An interpreter should be available. If you can't get one for Monday, you can get one for another day, but please reach out to the school and ask for support.
Yes. Yeah, teacher conferences are there for a reason, so please use the time to contact your teachers. Even if your student is doing well, then, talk to your teacher and make sure you reinforce that, and then come home and reward your students. And if they're having challenges, then talk to the teacher, get good tips from them, and then you can help at home. All right. Any more questions?